When you learned about storytelling in school, you probably learned that good stories have a predictable arc. They typically start out with an introduction, followed by a rising action, a climax, and finish with a final resolution. This is the way storytelling has been done for years, and works well in a variety of formats, such as oral and written stories, and TVs and movies. The dawn of new mediums, namely computers and the internet, had given rise to new narrative structures that can often be much more nuanced and complex. Let's first talk about author-driven narratives. Author-driven narratives typically have a well-defined start and endpoint and proceed in a linear flow that's directed by the author of the visualization. Viewer-driven narratives, on the other hand, while still having a well-defined start point, allow a freedom of choice for the viewer to choose the direction in which the narrative progresses. In this way, while each user starts in the same place, there are various endings that they could end up, depending on how they look at the data or the choices they made along the way. This type of narrative is very powerful because it allows the user to choose their own narrative. You can think of it like a choose-your-own-adventure book, where you're writing the story as you're experiencing it. Visual narratives, often called narrative visualization, combine conventions of communicative and exploratory information visualization to convey an intended story. We often see stories fall within a spectrum between being author-driven and viewer-driven. Visualizations that have few exploratory elements are often called author-driven and are useful for narratives that have strong ordering, heavy messaging, or have a need for clarity and speed in the narrative. Viewer-driven narratives, on the other hand, take a very different approach. Rather than dictating a specific narrative, it allows the viewer to freely interact with the data, allowing them to ask questions, explore, and tell their own data story. Now let's look at a few examples of author-driven data visualizations.